because it was a vaccine, it could not happen. Now, the parents are right about the bowel problem in their kids. The doctors were wrong, and therefore we had a moral and professional obligation to look at whether the vaccine was causing the problem. That's when the trouble started. And so I said, right, I'm going to go back and I'm going to read every safety study that's ever been done on measles vaccines, MMR vaccines. I wrote a 250-page report. I offered it to my colleagues. I said, I can no longer support the use of this vaccine because the safety studies are not there. They're just not there.
Doctor, let me stop you right now. I'm going to need you to start over. You've backed away from your phone, so we're having trouble hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah, get closer to your phone. Go ahead.
Okay. So I took the vaccine safety issue very, very seriously, and in many ways I wish I'd taken it more seriously before I had vaccinated my own children. Alex, am I coming across now?
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay, good. And I made the recommendation that children should continue to be vaccinated but might get the single vaccines because I felt that the safety studies of the single vaccines, measles, mumps, and rubella, were better than those for MMR. Anyway, this caused a meltdown because they didn't want that to happen. The government didn't want that to happen. And so I made that recommendation in February of 1998. And when demand for the single vaccine was at its highest, 6 months later, the government withdrew the license for that vaccine in the UK. And so parents could no longer get the choice. Now, why would you do that? Why would you take away a choice from parents for how they would protect their children by removing the single vaccine? And so measles came back. They blame me, and in fact, the reason it came back is because they took away the choice. It wasn't an anti-vaccine argument, but it was saying, give parents the choice of how they protect their children. The government took that choice away.
Dr. Wakefield, going back to the beginning, I've also seen research papers separate from yours that Crohn's that didn't exist until the 50s and 60s has been linked to antibodies associated with measles vaccines and others. And again, I'm not a doctor, but for any layperson, if a child supposedly has a neurological disorder, why would that cause them to have horrible diarrhea, which anyone with an autistic child knows is associated with it? I mean, they know exactly what's going on here. So let's break that down. Well,
okay. The first question is why would there be a link between a gastrointestinal problem and a brain disorder? Well, this has been known for a long, long time, and we are what we eat, in effect. You'll know, Alex. I mean, I know because I like beer. If I drink a beer, then 5 minutes later I'm going to feel the effect in my brain. So toxins, neurotoxins from the intestine will get through and affect the brain. And the drugs that we give to treat psychological and psychiatric conditions are absorbed through the intestine. We also know that there are diseases like liver failure, where the more you become jaundiced, then your brain stops to work, and then you ultimately go into coma and die. And that is because bacterial products from the gut are getting through and injuring the brain because the damaged liver isn't filtering them out. So this concept that there is a link between the bowel and the brain is as old as the hills. Is it relevant to what's happening in children with autism? I think so. But the most important thing is it generates testable ideas, testable scientific ideas that can be looked at. And what we find is when we treat the children's intestine, then in many cases the brain improves. And that's very exciting because before this we were dealing with a disease that is untreatable. Your kids got autism, put them in a home, forget about them. Now we can start to do something about it.
And the system is mad because you're a prestigious doctor, you're well-spoken, your research has now been backed up by other studies, and so they have now crucified you, or they're attempting to destroy you, but I think this is going to backfire on them.
Well, to be honest, it could become their worst nightmare, because I have been constrained from saying anything so far because of the legal process. Now that's over and I can speak, and during the course of the hearing in the UK that you were talking about, the regulatory hearing, I obtained a lot of documents which are going to be very, very embarrassing for the government, because what they exposed is why they went to these lengths to discredit me in the first place. And what is interesting is that when I got involved in litigation on behalf of the children as a medical expert, and I thought that we were litigating against the pharmaceutical company. In fact, we weren't. In the UK, we were litigating against the government. Why? Because when we introduced the MMR vaccine in the UK, it was a dangerous vaccine that was introduced. It had already been withdrawn in Canada for safety reasons, but it was introduced in the UK knowing that there was a problem, but because it was made by the home team. It was made by a UK company. And so they appear to have given a preferential market share to the UK company despite the fact that they knew the vaccine had problems. And the UK company, reluctant to get involved in that, seems to have got an indemnity from the government, so the government assumed their liability for vaccine damage. They didn't want that news to come out.
Doc, we've got you for the rest of the hour, and I want to go through their disinformation, because when I watch the news, they say, he paid people to be in his study. Oh, my gosh. Well, every study I've ever seen, they pay people. And they imply you're this liar, and you've been caught in this fraud. But we know, as vaccination has gone up, autism has gone up. We've seen all these other studies now connecting not just autism, but Crohn's to vaccines. I want to discuss that. And from your research, your studies, what the mechanism is, what's happening to the intestines via this vaccine that is then attacking the brain, and the treatments you found for parents out there that have children so they can hopefully reverse some of the things that have happened, because of you and Jenny McCarthy and many others, the system, again, is really scared. They've got Dr. Dina Dell and others, who says, by the way, vitamins are bad for you. He says, I mean, it's incredible, out there basically lying about you guys, building straw men. They are really desperate. But the good news is all the studies, all the research shows the people are really waking up to how dangerous these vaccines are. But the system doesn't care. It's like the human papilloma virus, or the Gardasil. In their trials, it killed a bunch of people. It's killed a bunch of people since. But they don't care. They're out there saying, take it, take it, take it. And in the insert, it says, does it even protect you from cervical cancer? So we'll talk about that with Dr. Andrew Wakefield when we come back from this quick break on the other side. And we'll give you his website. We'll tell you more about the book, Callous Disregard, Autism, Vaccines, the Truth Behind a Tragedy, forwarded by Jenny McCarthy. All I want to do is save children. I can't tell you how many parents I've run into on the street who don't even know who I am, and their child's autistic. And I say, when did that happen? 18 months, took their third round of shots. My kid was talking, running, jumping. Now he doesn't talk. He just sits there. He's 7 years old.
Here's a question. If you have a septic system, did you know that proper maintenance can save you thousands of dollars in costly and unnecessary repairs? The answer is simple. Use septic system injector treatments made specifically for your home or business, available only at simplesepticsolutions.com. Made in the U.S., guaranteed to reduce sludge and odor by continuously cleaning your septic system, drain pipes, and leach field. This non-hazardous patented injector system contains billions of natural active bacteria and enzymes proven to digest household waste. With every flush, millions of enzyme-active bacteria flow through your system, breaking down organic waste. Only Simple Septic Solutions natural eco-friendly products keep your septic system unclogged and free-flowing, claims other products can't make. Installation is simple and lasts for 4 full months. Visit simplesepticsolutions.com. That's simplesepticsolutions.com, or call 508-759-0010. That's 508-759-0010.
They helped to create a new world order. We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Making the right decisions is a challenge to investors. Are we going to see economic growth, slide into a recession, or at worst, depression? Hi, Ted Anderson from Midas Resources. We all know when a company acts irresponsibly, divesting ourselves in a move towards safety is prudent. When the market becomes volatile, U.S. Treasuries are a safe haven. But what do you do when the U.S. government overextends itself and spends beyond its means? Many investors are turning toward gold as a common-sense alternative to traditional paper investments. Midas Resources has put together a powerful book titled 10 Reasons to Own Gold, discussing costs, benefits, risks, featuring full-color illustrations, weights, and measures. The book is free and can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. Paper investments are dwarfed by gold's 6,000-year history. Discover how gold may be right for you and your IRA by calling 800-686-2237.